are closer than they appear. I'm just admiring this lovely yellow. I think it's called a Trax, a 2024 Trax here at Jones Chevrolet. And on the show, we have a look at local theater. It's a lovely Camaro convertible here behind me, right here at Jones Chevrolet. And we'll hear from director Andrew Sharp with an update on the Community Players Theater production of The Music Man.
It's Monday, March 8th. Here we are on the stage of the Downtown Auditorium, the RCPAC. And Andrew Sharp, we're here to talk about things related to the July production of The Music Man. And what about, what's coming up this weekend?
This weekend we're planning on shooting a video for people to show them what to expect when they come here to audition. So we're going to take it right from walking in the doors here at the City Auditorium and what you're going to have to do, which is going to be to fill out an audition sheet and then come in here to the stage where the music director, Aaron Starks, will be here, and we would want you to sing something. Could be very simple, could be Happy Birthday. Or you could not sing, you don't have to sing, there are non-singing parts certainly. We would have Brittany Hine here, who is the choreographer, to ask you to do some dance steps, some very simple dance steps. And again, if you don't want to dance, you don't have to. And then we would have people read from the script, and we would have scripts available, and I would get people up in groups to read from the script to see how they do at that. And so we'll take you through each step, and you'll see the people that you would see if you show up here and explain the whole process so you would know exactly what was going to happen before you show up.
And you will need musicians, of course.
Yeah, we've decided to use a live orchestra instead of doing a tape, and Erin Starks was very much in favor of that. She very much wanted a live orchestra. So we're recruiting people for the orchestra. It would be a standard orchestration. I would think we would need the standard things, you know, trombones and saxophones and trumpets and drums and the things that you would normally have for a show orchestra of this type. So if anybody is interested in being in the band, and it's a lot of fun to be in the band for a show. Again, as I always bring up, I was in the band for Gilligan's Island the musical. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it very much. I'm glad to say that I did it. So if somebody is looking for a way to get involved and be engaged and perhaps use the skills that you learned in high school but haven't had a chance to use again, I would encourage people to get a hold of us at Community Players and let us know, and we'll put you in the orchestra.
And this is not like a 75-piece orchestra. You know, you can do amazing things with 20 people.
Yeah, you can cover a lot with synthesizers and things like that if you need to, if you're missing parts. Mm-hmm. But I think that the orchestra is more like 20 pieces, I would say.
Okay.
We're going to have to have them next to the orchestra pit. We can't use the orchestra pit yet, but it's nice that the referendum went through and they'll be able to put the net over the orchestra pit and we'll be able to use it again, but that's not for this show, that would be in the future. So we can't have too big of an orchestra because they're going to be down on the floor next to the orchestra pit, and the amount of space is limited.
Yeah,
So-
and Logan Willis, you told me, is the...
Yeah, Logan Willis, who is an Ithaca graduate and a musical prodigy, I think, by anybody's standards. He went out east to college to get a degree in musical composition, and, you know, he's a very talented young man. He plays the piano, he plays the oboe, and I'm sure he plays other instruments as well. So he is going to be the orchestra leader.
Well,
And
good.
I'm glad to have him.
We'll have to talk to him soon, I
Yeah.
think.
We'll have to corral him and see if he's willing to be interviewed. So,
Now, we are also working on a movie called The Plays the Thing.
the play's the thing. I got the idea to do a movie actually when we were doing Elf the Musical. We shot some commercials, and they proved to be very popular. There were a few thousand views, like 3,000 or 4,000, which I wasn't expecting to get that many. And so obviously you and I were shooting those together, and it was a good time. So I thought it would be fun just to shoot a movie, especially in the space that we have here where nothing is really going on community players wise. If the campus was still going, of course, I'd probably be directing the spring show for the campus, but that's not happening. So instead, I thought, well, let's shoot a movie. And what do you want to shoot a movie about? I wanted to do something simple that didn't require special effects and things like that, things that we don't have. Just a regular movie, take a camera, shoot a movie, and decided that at the same time, it could be an advertisement for getting kids involved in theater, and therefore would serve a purpose for community players. So the movie is about a girl who doesn't get along that well at school, has a kind of a difficult home life, but when she comes to the theater, when she comes here, everything is wonderful. And she's in a production of A Midsummer's Night's Dream, and she's playing Puck. And so we will see her coming to the theater and in the rehearsal process, and then the final play at the end will also be shown. So that's a lot of fun. A lot of the community players members are getting involved in being in the movie, and we're having a good time with that. We're shooting it in April and May, and there's still parts available for adults. If people are interested in being in it, again, they could contact community players. But it's also nice, I think, that we're branching out into, community players isn't necessarily just about doing theatrical presentations, although that's pretty much what we do. But I think it's nice to try shooting a movie, good experience for the group in general, and fun for the kids, fun for the adults too, to actually be in a movie. So.
And we already filmed a scene in front of someone's home in Richland Center the first part of March, and we were here in the auditorium this past Sunday, outside and inside. We'll be at Ithaca Schools doing in a real classroom.
Right, on the 20th and 21st. Thank you to Ithaca for that.
And that's more publicity, more exposure.
Right. So, and I'm hoping to take the final film and put it on some kind of platform, YouTube or whatever, and see what kind of views we can get. So.
And the final scene is actually the play on stage here at the high school.
No, here, yep,
So it's A Midsummer's Night's Dream,
here.
and you'll see, as part of that movie, kind of little vignettes or scenes from that.
Right. Because I also had the idea of actually performing A Midsummer's Night's Dream and doing it at the pavilion in the North Park. We have that wonderful pavilion there. I would like to do a play in it. Midsummer's Night's Dream is a natural. And so I had proposed that or the Music Man to the Community Players Group, and they picked the Music Man, which is fine. I still might want to try to do A Midsummer's Night's Dream, but it's also kind of a placebo for me because I had wanted to do A Midsummer's Night's Dream to be able to do a little bit of it in a movie and get people, my actors, thinking Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And I will mention, Zoe Lutz, we did A Midsummer's Night's Dream back in 2006, I believe it was. I was in it, various other people obviously were in it. It was a wonderful production. It's a very viewer-friendly kind of play. It's very easy to understand and to follow, and it's a lot of fun. It's the only Shakespeare play where Shakespeare is always 5 acts, and usually you don't get the conclusion of the play until the 5th act. But A Midsummer's Night's Dream, the real plot is resolved in the first 4 acts, and the 5th act is just for fun. It's just silly and for fun, which is something that I like about it.
What Shakespeare's plays are usually divided into like 3 or 4 episodes of his life or something. Why did he choose it? When did this play fit into his repertoire?
Oh, I haven't looked up when exactly he wrote A Midsummer's Night's Dream. The plays are divided up into histories, tragedies, comedies. Midsummer's Night's Dream is very definitely a comedy. I'm not sure exactly at what point that he wrote it, but he obviously wrote it as a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. There's a lot of fun in the show. I've got there's the Fairy King and Queen, and the Fairy Queen has attendants, and there's a bunch of players that are putting on a play for the Duke, and there are a bunch of clods trying to put on a play, which is a lot of fun. It's a lot of silly kind of slapsticky humor. One of the play members gets transformed into a jackass, and the Fairy Queen is enchanted, and so she falls in love with the jackass. It's just silly fun, and that's why it's such a popular show.
I had read somewhere that even though it's called A Midsummer's Night's Dream, that's a misnomer because it really doesn't take place in midsummer, and it's not a dream. What do you have to say? Maybe where I read that was some crank website. I don't know.
Well, it could take place during midsummer. They actually had days set aside as midsummer, and it actually midsummer was in May, if I remember correctly. And a dream,
That's a loose interpretation or something.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Fairy King and the Fairy Queen with various fairies and Puck, and they're interacting with the mortals that are there. So it all takes place in the Enchanted Woods, and it's very dreamlike. It can be very dreamlike. So
I suppose you could call anything a dream. Like, this is a dream. This house is a dream. My new house,
Right.
anything.
Right. Yeah. What is life but a dream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and one more time, tryouts are when, Andrew?
The tryouts for the Music Man are going to be here May 14th, 15th, and 16th. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. There are parts for everybody, every age, and there's a lot of things that people can do backstage as well. We need carpenters for the show. We need makeup people, light people, costume people. Anybody that's ever interested in being in a show could certainly contact us and let us know. We're happy to have new people. We're happy to put new people on stage or engage them backstage. So if anybody has ever been tempted to try out, now would be a very good time. Or if you want to get involved backstage, we would be overjoyed to have you show up and say that you would like to be involved. So I would really encourage that. The shows themselves are going to be the last week of July, the first week of August, and out at the Richland Center High School. So.
And after the show is cast, how much will occur still on this stage?
We'll do the first month of rehearsals here, and then so in June we'll be here rehearsing, and then in July we'll move out to the high school for the rehearsals.
So that first month would be just blocking, know your lines kind of thing, and
I think we're going to work on the songs because the songs are so pivotal to this show, and some of them are somewhat challenging.
that first one,
Right.
to me that's not, well, I guess I shouldn't assume everybody knows it. The salesmen are on a train,
Right.
and I forgot the name of the song.
I'm not even sure what the name of that song is.
And if you go check on YouTube, the first song in A Music Man, you could argue it's not a song. It sounds like a percussion solo, but then
Right.
who am I to say that a percussion is not a song?
Right.
It's just rhythmical.
Right.
There's no melody.
He doesn't know the Territory song. They're all talking about Harold Hill. And yeah, it's very percussive because it's supposed to go along with the rhythm of the train.
What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Just, it sounds
Right.
like an auctioneer type
Right,
of thing, but
yeah.
that is a difficult one because
Yeah.
you can't really screw up. Well, yeah.
Yeah, we want to get that one down pat so that we have a good, strong opening in the show. We need 8 men, well, 9 with Harold Hill, who just sits there and listens to them. They don't realize that he is among them as they are talking about him and his qualities.
Yeah.
Cash for the hogshead, cask, and demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the fly paper.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? You can talk, you can talk, you can bigger, you can talk, you can bigger, you can talk, you can talk, you can talk, bigger, you can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why, it's a Model T Ford. Made the trouble, made the people want to go, want to get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it? Gone.
Gone with the hogshead, cask, and demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk can. Gone with the tub and the pail of the tears.
Lots of beautiful songs in that show, and lots of, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. We did that with the Richland Chorus. That's a popular song, and that's a lot of fun to sing, that people get to sing. So there's a lot of good and recognizable songs.
Those songs are accessible, I'll call them, to
Right.
many choirs on many different ability levels,
Right.
unlike some musicals, I suppose.
Right, yeah,
They become almost anthems. Like, who doesn't know that song? And
right. Yeah,
they're staples.
right. The whole show is a very, a staple, yeah,
Well, it takes place in Iowa,
right,
you know?
right. Not far from here,
No.
so,
Well, this one takes place in Richland Center, though.
right. We could do that. Instead of River City, Iowa, it could be Richland Center. Wisconsin, I don't know.
I know. Okay. All right, well, thanks, Andrew.
All right, thank you.
Well, it's turning green in the hills, and pretty soon I bet like morels will be popping up. We hope you'll come back next week and every week to see what's going on around Richland Center.